All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down basketball, step by step. And look, we aren't just going to treat this as a basic physical sport. We're going to really unpack it as the thrilling, high-speed, strategic battle that it actually is. It's a game of angles, physics, and split-second decision-making. So whether you're stepping onto the hardwood for the very first time, or you're a student looking to seriously elevate your physical education performance tasks, we are going to unpack the absolute foundational concepts you need to truly master the game.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. First, the core concept. Second, origins and the arena. Third, violations versus fouls. Fourth, the player's toolkit. Fifth, team tactics. And finally, number 6, the rewards. So let's kick things off with level 1, the concept. At its core, basketball is officially classified as an invasion game. The best way to think about this is through a giant fortress analogy. You got 2 teams, right? And they are sharing the exact same playing area. Your main tactical challenge is basically a twofold problem. First, you have to invade and attack, finding a prime scoring position right in enemy territory. But at the exact same time, you've got to protect and defend your own basket from the enemy. And you know what makes this incredibly difficult? Well, unlike baseball or football, where offense and defense are rigidly separated by a dead ball or a break in play, basketball is this constant, chaotic, high-speed balancing act. That transition between attacking and defending happens literally in the blink of an eye. Moving right along to level 2, origins in the arena. The evolution of this game is just fascinating. Picture this. It's December 1891. And a physical education instructor named Dr. James Naismith up in Springfield, Massachusetts, desperately needs a way to keep his students active during a really harsh winter. Now, the original game was incredibly limited. They literally tossed a soccer ball into actual wooden peach baskets that were nailed to the gymnasium balcony. And here's the crazy part. Because the baskets still had bottoms in them, they had to stop the game and climb a ladder to get the ball back after every single point. Oh, and passing was the absolute only way you could move the ball down the court. Eventually, thank goodness, common sense prevailed. That led us to the modern era of open nets, metal hoops, backboards, the genius invention of dribbling, and standardized rules that let the game flow without needing a ladder. Now, part of those modern rules involves the scoring zones on the court. When you look at the court's geography, the magic number to keep in your head is 3. If you shoot the ball from outside that big 3-point line, it's worth 3 points. Shoot from inside that arc, and it's worth 2. And if you draw a foul and shoot a free throw, each one of those is worth just 1 point. Now, you might be wondering, why does this distinction even exist? Well, it all boils down to risk versus reward. Naturally, the defense is going to pack the inside of the court and crowd the basket. That makes inside shots physically tougher because of all the traffic. But statistically, they're much higher percentage shots because you're literally right next to the hoop. So to force players to spread out and open up the floor, the game rewards you with an extra point if you're willing to take that longer, riskier shot from way outside the arc. All right, let's actually slow down for a second here, because for anyone learning the game, understanding the referee's whistle is a major hurdle. It is absolutely vital to memorize the difference between a technical rule violation and a physical foul. A violation is basically about breaking the mechanics of the game. Take traveling, for example. That's illegally taking steps while holding the ball. Or a double dribble, where you pick up your dribble, stop, and then inexplicably start bouncing it again. Then you've got carrying, which is when your hand slides a little too far under the ball while you're dribbling, essentially letting you palm it to gain an unfair advantage. There's also the 3-second rule. An offensive player can't just camp out in the heavily contested area right under the basket, what we call the paint, for more than 3 seconds. Now, a foul, on the other hand, involves illegal physical contact or just downright bad behavior. A personal foul means pushing, holding, or hitting your opponent. And a technical foul? That's called for improper conduct, like arguing excessively with a ref. The big takeaway here is that navigating the court successfully requires immense emotional control and sportsmanship, just as much as physical precision. Okay, let's level up. Level 3, the player's toolkit. Imagine you just caught a pass. Your very first instinct should always be to drop your hips, bend your knees, and establish what we call the triple threat position. It's called the triple threat because simply standing in this poised, athletic stance instantly gives you 3 powerful options to attack the defense. First, you can pass. Passing is, without a doubt, the absolute fastest way to move the ball. A ball flying through the air is always going to travel faster than a human being running down the hardwood. Second, you can dribble, advancing the ball yourself or shaking off a defender. Third, you can shoot, assuming you've got a good high percentage look at the basket. And anchoring all of this is the pivot. Pivoting means keeping one foot firmly planted on the floor while moving your other foot in a circular motion. Think of it as a legal cheat code for creating space. It lets you use your body to shield the ball from a pesky defender and find a brand new passing angle without picking up a traveling violation.
Now that you've got the tools, let's look at level 4, team tactics.
Basketball is literally a non-stop tug-of-war. When your team is on offense, your primary goal is maintaining safe ball possession. You desperately want to create open space. You really have to treat your teammates like chess pieces. Whatever you do, don't crowd them. Proper spacing stretches the defense out nice and thin, which opens up driving lanes so you can penetrate and get a high percentage shot. But the moment you are on defense, your mindset has to totally flip. Your absolute priority becomes protecting the basket. You must physically stay between your opponent and the hoop. Think of the defender as a human shield. You're using your positioning to dictate exactly where the offensive player is allowed to go, ideally forcing them away from the basket. You want to use active hands, a balanced body, and quick lateral movements to apply controlled pressure and shut down those passing lanes.
But here's the catch. Because this is an invasion game, the play never truly stops. Mastering the transition is the absolute secret sauce to winning. Let's try a quick mental exercise. Imagine you just put up a jump shot and it clanks hard off the rim. The other team grabs the rebound. In that exact split second, your brain has to completely shut off its attack mode and violently trigger its sprint back mode. You have to instantly realize, I am now a defender. You must physically sprint back to set up your defensive positioning way before the opponent can advance the ball. Believe it or not, entire games are won and lost in this tiny 2-second window of transition. Effective defense isn't just about coming up with a flashy steal. It's about quick communication, flawless teamwork, and just flat out beating the other team down the floor. Put yourself in a player's shoes right now. The game is going to throw tactical problems at you every few seconds, and you have to have the solutions ready. Say you get trapped by 2 defenders. The absolute worst thing you can do? Panic. Panic leads to jumping in the air and throwing a blind, floating pass, which, let's be honest, almost always results in a turnover. Instead, stay grounded. Pivot, throw a pass fake to get the defenders leaning the wrong way, and find your open teammate. What if the area is just way too crowded? Simply move out to the wings or the corners to create some breathing room. If your direct route to the basket is walled off, reverse the ball to the opposite side of the court, set a screen, or use a quick pass and cut maneuver. And if there's no clear shot available, simple, don't force it. Give them a shot fake to get the defender airborne, or just pass it out and reset the offense. Smart, patient decisions are what create significantly better scoring opportunities. Finally, we've reached level 5, the rewards. Whether you're running full court, playing 3-on-3, or just running through shooting drills, basketball is a profoundly holistic activity. Physically, the fast-paced, stop-and-go movement builds incredible cardiovascular endurance, speed, agility, balance, and reaction time. But honestly, just as importantly, it develops critical mental and social skills that translate way beyond the gymnasium. You're actively practicing teamwork and rapid communication under intense pressure. When a referee makes a call you totally disagree with or a teammate misses a wide-open pass, you are actively practicing discipline and emotional control. Learning to keep your cool on a chaotic basketball court directly translates into keeping your cool in a challenging classroom or even a high-stakes boardroom down the line. So, as you prepare for your physical education performance tasks, where you might be playing a modified game, keep this in mind. The goal isn't just to drop the most points. Applying core principles like proper spacing, purposeful passing, and strict fair play without all that unnecessary contact is what actually makes you a complete player. A great player embodies being highly alert, deeply strategic, wonderfully cooperative, and wholly responsible, all at the exact same time. I'm going to leave you with this thought to carry into your very next game or practice session. Look, understanding the physical mechanics is really only half the battle. How you collaborate and strategize under pressure is what ultimately defines your game. Are you ready to be that kind of player? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.